Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato evening headlines on March 29, 2022. Mexico, 20 people shot dead at clandestine cockfight as drug gang violence worsens. Sky News, massacre at cockfight in Mexico leaves 20 dead. The Guardian, 19 killed in Mexico at clandestine rooster fight. The Independent, 19 killed after gunman raid secret rooster fight in Mexico. Evening Standard, gunman kill 20 at cockfight in troubled western Mexican state. Roman Abramovich attends start of Ukraine-Russia talks. The Guardian, Ukraine news, Live, Abramovich attends Russia peace talks amid warning over food and drink poisoning. The Independent, Recep Erdogan, the would-be Sultan promising peace while his drones wreak havoc in Ukraine. The Telegraph, Ukraine and Russia likely to begin face-to-face talks on Tuesday. The Guardian, Russia vows to reduce military activity around Kyiv at peace talks. Records show long gap in Trump phone logs as January 6 violence unfolded. The Guardian, Trump's January 6 phone records have 7-hour gap spanning riot. The Independent, White House logs show over 7-hour gap in Trump calls on January 6. Reuters, Jan. 6 White House logs given to House show 7-hour gap in Trump calls. The Washington Post, Jan. 6 panel missing roughly 8 hours of Trump's phone calls. Russian supply chains next in line for sanctions, Deputy U.S. Treasury Secretary says. Reuters, U.S. Treasury, more Western sanctions to target Russian economy, supply chains. Politico Europe, Treasury's Adeyemo says U.S. allies to add to Russia sanctions. Bloomberg, U.S. allies to aim sanctions at more Russian sectors, supply chains Treasury's Adeyemo. Tell Putin, who are you liberating us from? Ukraine's Holocaust survivors brace for Russian forces. Sorrow and regret are not enough. Britain must finally pay reparations for slavery. The Guardian, why Britain shouldn't pay reparations for slavery. Is Beatle trial, daughter of murdered aid worker David Haines will face his alleged kidnapper at trial in U.S. Sky News, ISIS Beatles member hostage taking trial to open in Virginia. The Times, U.S. trial begins for member of Islamic State Beatles cell. Reuters, murdered Brit's daughter to confront his alleged Islamic State kidnapper in U.S. trial. Evening Standard, daughter of David Haines to confront his alleged Islamic State kidnapper in U.S. trial. Tributes paid at funeral to inspirational Irish journalist killed in Ukraine. The Guardian, Pierre Zakrzewski, mourners gather for funeral of cameraman killed in Ukraine. Evening Standard, cameraman killed in Ukraine remembered as truth teller. ITV News, love always comes at a price. Pierre Zakrzewski's funeral takes place in Dublin. The Irish Times, funeral held for Irish journalist killed in Ukraine. Unprotected Russian soldiers disturbed radioactive dust in highly toxic Chernobyl, Red Forest. The Independent, Russian soldiers were sent blind on suicide mission into clouds of radioactive dust in Chernobyl. The Telegraph, Russian soldiers kicking up radioactive dust in Chernobyl could cause new radiation threat. Reuters, UN nuclear watchdog chief in Ukraine to talk safety support. The Independent, live updates, UN nuclear watchdog chief visits Ukraine. Roman Abramovich seen at Ukraine and Russia peace talks in Turkey as Kremlin denies allegations he was poisoned. Sky News, Roman Abramovich poisoned at peace talks with Ukraine, BBC News. BBC News, Roman Abramovich suffered suspected poisoning at talks. BBC, poisoning of Roman Abramovich at peace talks would be straight out of Putin's playbook. iNews, Abramovich's poisoning is another example of the Stalinization of modern Russia. Biden hits back at Ukraine questions from Fox News reporter Peter Doocy, you've got to be silly. The Independent, Biden says he makes no apologies for calling for removal of Putin. The Telegraph, photograph captures Biden's cheat sheet, notes as he tries to avoid another Putin gaffe. The Independent, Biden is a diplomatic liability. He's playing into Putin's hands. The Guardian, opinion, Biden told the truth about Putin. But regime change is not a policy option. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.